What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about 8 different cryptos today, 8 different altcoins, and we'll be going in this order. I will leave timestamps this time, I promise. If I forget, just know this is the order we're going in, so you can kind of gauge it off of that. But anyways, without any further ado, we're going to be talking about WTK, PLI for Mr. Benji III. Moving on from there, we'll be talking about VeChain for Crypto Megalodon, BNB for Fonzie, PSP for Daniel Mullen, XYO, XCN, and FLR for Garcia's Trading. That's the order that we're doing it in. Feel free to leave a request. I always notice that I get more requests whenever I say this exact thing that I'm about to say, which is I do requests openly. It doesn't take money. It's not some fancy process. You have to go through, leave a comment. Leave a comment, and I will do the request on whatever coin you want, whatever asset you want. I don't care if it's crypto. I don't care if it's stocks, whatever. I even do it on the DXY, Forex. Like I'm open to whatever. If I can chart it on TradingView or on Dex Screener or through some other means, I will try. I will do it. But feel free to leave a request. I do tend to the Discord requests first, but in this video there are Discord and YouTube requests. The Discord requests just come first. So all in all, they're getting done at the same time, and with the timestamps, you can just click to whichever one you want to watch. But watch the whole video, man. Give me that overall watch time hours up. Just let it run. Just press play and let it run. Do what you want to do. I'm just I don't know, hitting the sales pitch, I guess. But hit that like button, subscribe, speaking of the sales pitch. And if you want to join the Discord to leave your requests as well, I will leave a link in the description for the Discord. And without any further ado, let's get this started. Oh yeah, by the way, same thing that I've been saying a lot more recently, which is that the channel is getting bigger. It's going to be harder to keep up with these requests. So while I am able to keep up with everybody's requests, like every single day essentially, feel free to do it. Take advantage of it. We got Mr. Garcia's Trading requesting 3 cryptos at once. There is no limit on the requests you can do. I haven't hit it yet, but I'm sure we will at some point, and I will have to restrict people to just 1 request per day, and then it might even get more restricted. But as of now, there's no restrictions, so take advantage of it. The channel's small enough, and I might be setting myself up for some work, but let's do it, man. Let's get into it. Okay, anyways, weekly time frame, WTK, we're looking at it here. Looks like a nice little structure upwards, higher highs, higher lows for sure. You had this kind of ascending triangle look right here, right? You broke out, you found support. I would think your next move is going to be up. If you move down from here, you're at 3.8 cents. I mean, you could move basically like a whole cent down. You could, it's possible, but you just touched it. You touched it before. I bet you're getting ready to move up higher, right? You broke out, you're consolidating right at the point of breakout. You're probably going to move higher, but you could move a little lower first. It is possible. I think Bitcoin and most crypto is probably going to see some downside here over the next coming weeks. In anticipation, I'm not going to go on a huge rant on this, but I think the ETFs are not going to get approved. I don't think a single one of them will get approved on this round. I don't even think it's going to happen in 2024, but if it does, it's going to be later 2024. But I think it's actually going to happen at the end of the bull cycle. Here I am ranting. What I'm trying to say is I think that we're going to sell off in the anticipation of the ETFs, but the insiders are going to know that they're not getting approved. I'm sure there's people right now, like the SEC isn't going to make up their mind magically on the 10th or the 9th or the 8th or the 5th. Odds are we're going to hear this news before the 10th. They don't normally push it to the last day, but they can, but they normally let us know beforehand. So I bet people already know, and what we're going to see is the price drop, negative news comes out, and then price stops dropping, and the market just shrugs it off like, who cares, because we don't need these ETFs to keep going. But man, here I am ranting about it. Let's talk about WTK. Just throwing that out there, because if things go lower, they really could. You're up 22% this week. Don't be surprised if you're down 22% next week or over the next 2 weeks. It can happen. Looking at the daily here, you are in a bit of a downtrend with your RSI, lower highs, lower lows. You could come back down. You absolutely could come all the way back down to your oversold zone and kind of match up with this line. You might not. Maybe you come down and you form a higher low. Maybe you bounce right off your 50, something like that. Maybe you're breaking out of this trend. If you broke out of it here, I don't know how much of a trend it really would have been, and you're going to the overbought zone right now. But as of right now, I kind of would expect that you hold this kind of downward structure that you're in, personally. which again would imply some kind of downward movement. If we look at the daily, the price for what it is, I mean, you can see it here. We went up a lot already today. This is on BitTrue, so the time frame is a little bit different. Here we have 11 hours to go, but based on most cryptos, this should be like 19 hours and 15 minutes left. But who cares? This is their chart. They can do whatever they want. Finding some resistance on the 61869 level. Yeah, you're battling it out. This reminds me of Bitcoin Cash kind of, man. I wonder if you're on the weekly. Do you even have enough? You don't have enough history to have a green line on your weekly. That's okay. Showing strength in the RSI. Overall, the whole identity of it looks kind of bearish to me. Today's not a good look so far. I would think that you'd come down, maybe come down to 3 cents, maybe come all the way back down to 2.7 cents, somewhere around there. But I wouldn't expect that you'd go too much lower than this 236. I really wouldn't. I don't think that you'd come all the way back down here. I very much would expect that you hold somewhere in this region. Probably not exactly at this line, probably not exactly at this line, but somewhere in between. And if you do go a little bit below the 236, that's okay. That's okay. You did it last time and you held it still, right? That's okay. But down is probably where you're going in the immediate term. Looking at the 4 hour here. 4 hours nice. Looks pretty strong. You could go up. You know, prove me wrong on this. Prove me wrong that you're going down in the immediate term. Get a day to close green, get a couple days to close green, and get in this over bot zone. That would prove, you know, more than this. Don't just like tip up in there. Though I would think even if you did tip up in there, that would be enough to kind of signal that you're getting ready to break out of this. But maybe you're not. Maybe I'm kind of under the impression that you might pull back for a quick second, have a higher low, and then like you are getting ready to break out. But I don't think it's going to. I don't think this is going to promote a lower low. I don't think you're going to do something like that. But yeah, down from here, I guess, is what I'm trying to say with WTK, and then up is the expectation. Yeah, a little bearish divergence here, kind of like played out bearish divergence throughout this whole thing. I wouldn't be surprised if you, I mean, maybe not that low, but if you gave like back to this white line here, which is around 3.33 cents, probably lower even. I said white line, I meant green line. Anyways, that's WTK. Let's move on to PLI. PLI. Also looking a little bit bearish, isn't it? On the 1 hour, though, not a whole lot to say about that. 4 hour, finding resistance on the green line. Yeah, you're probably going lower. You will probably go lower than this low. You might even go lower than these lows. Let's check it out on the daily to see. But the RSI definitely shows weakness, right? Like, you're I should say kind of neutral to a certain degree, not getting oversold, not getting overbought, but this like near rejection off the overbought zone and then slamming back below the 50, slamming off of this green line like this, it's not a good look. It really isn't. I would think you go lower than that low. In fact, based off of the fibs here, I wonder, yeah, you'd probably go to like 3.6 cents, maybe even 3.4 cents. You could go lower. This is a pretty small fib. You could see the twos. You could see 3 cents or below that even. It's possible. Though, you've got a low right there. I don't know. Let's see. Let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, so what about like right here, like where there's most touch points kind of? That's right at your 2272. I don't know. I don't even know if that was like on the screen like that or if it was like this. I promise you I did not mean to do that. I was just lining it up with what I thought hit the most touch points. That it could make sense for this thing to go to 3 cents is all I'm trying to say. That's the whole point of this. If it went to 3 cents, you know, you've got this nice little structure right here, right? Higher lows, higher highs. But the thing is really if you look at the price, you had this move up, you moved down, you're in like a consolidation phase. Move, correction, probably move down. It's like a megaphone. It really does look like a megaphone actually, right? Or a broadening wedge, as you know, it's the opposite of a I don't know, just like a regular wedge. I forget whatever the opposite term for converging, I guess, would be broadening. Anyways, the opposite term for broadening is what I meant to say. Anyways, it looks like you're going to break down. Probably continue this move, right? You move down one, you have your A, B, C correction, and now you're moving down again. Yeah. Looking at the daily, rejecting the 50 twice, yeah, you're probably moving down. I bet you do. You're probably going all the way down to, you know, with wedge patterns, you tend to, where you break out is where you form, and that would take you back down to these lows around 3 cents. But could you go lower? Could Could you go lower? So yeah, man. 618, 69 support, back up to the 382 for resistance. I bet you do go lower. I bet you see the 786 to 886, at least 2.4 cents, 2.45 cents, somewhere in there, if not potentially right around 2 cents actually. I bet you're going there with PLI. Your best hope would be to hold this level here, and you very well could hold that 3 cents level, but I don't know. Just based off of this structure alone, I don't know if you're going to. You know what I was saying before, holding that 3 cent structure, that was based off the 4 hour. It's a little bit more of a narrow time frame. The daily tells me you're going lower. Yeah, especially with this rejection, this double top on the 50. And you're rejecting the daily green line as well as the 4 hour green line. I think you're about to see some downside, yeah. And then after you find your low there, maybe some upside, right? Kind of your most bullish instance that you've had throughout this whole thing's existence, other than like the first week of mania. You could be getting ready to form a higher low, maybe even like a double bottom of sorts, and then the real moves start going. Like if you like this move, if PLI, I don't know enough about PLI, but if it's legitimate, if it gains ground, if it proves that it's worthy of higher prices, then you really could see some miraculous price movements. Like if you thought this was fun, what's coming next will be a lot more fun. But first down is what I'm thinking. If you go lower than this low, that would not be good. So don't do that. Don't get it. If you go slightly lower, that's okay. Just don't break it. Don't break it. But I don't think you're going to. I think you'll go up higher. Anyways, that's PLI. First down. Probably down for a little bit now, anywhere from about 2 to 3 cents, and then we can talk about it, right? VeChain, I forget what VeChain, it's VET, that's right, VET. VeChain on Binance, on Coinbase, on Crypto.com, or Crypto. All the way back in 2018, yeah, that's about right. That's when it came into existence, right? Okay, so we'll use Binance. I remember VeChain, man. There's a lot of hype about it. I forget when. It might have been right around here. Maybe it was right around here. Maybe I forget when it was, but there was some big news that VeChain was going to be partnering with a big company, and it ended up being whoever owns Pornhub, and the price just tanked afterwards. But, for whatever reason, I would say it's buy the hype, sell the news kind of event. But I don't know if they're still partnered or not. But it's like I forget. I don't remember what the company's name is. But anyways, guys, let's talk about the TA. Let's get on to this. All in all, I like this chart. I do like this chart a lot. You kind of have an accumulation phase, an expansion phase. Now you're accumulating again. You can see that the lows really are coming at like this higher area of your accumulation phase here, kind of right in the middle of this little checkpoint here. It looks good. Really strong RSI, actually. Really, really strong. I like this maneuver that you're having right now. You're breaking out. You already have broken out, but you're breaking out of this accumulation phase. It probably comes to a stop soon. You're hitting this green line soon, so it's probably going to come to a stop soon. Top to bottom. Yeah, green line's right there at the 1272, 4.16 cents. You probably continue to move up, but I bet you find resistance there. It's very uncommon to find resistance, to not at least hit that 1272 on a major like this. I would expect it does. Looking at the daily, bearish divergence. It's a bold call, right? But this is where, guys, having a little bit, oh man, let's say having a little bit of experience helps, but man, it's got 1, 2, 3 peaks, lower highs. That's double bearish divergence. You could go up a little bit more and form triple bearish divergence, which is less common, but it's a lot more kind of significant. And you absolutely could continue to move up a little bit more and get that triple divergence, and then you correct back to your 886, 786 zone, probably around 3 cents. Man, all these things are going to like 3 cents to 2.6 cents. It's the same thing for every WTK, PLI, VeChain. You guys are all going to 3 cents or lower. That's kind of crazy. Coincidental, Daily RSI does look strong, though you are showing some divergence that is a bit concerning, I should say. But right now you do have lower lows in the RSI while maintaining higher lows. I bet you continue higher, but just a little bit higher. Again, where's that 1272 going to be at? That's at 4.2 cents. About 4.2, 4.15, 116, something like that, yeah. Probably move up there, and then you see some downside. That's my genuine interpretation of this thing. I don't know if I need to spend too much more time on it. 4 hour looks good too, man. Like, for immediate price growth, you've got ascending lows while having descending lows. Like, it's nice. Most of the time on this 4 hour RSI, you're above the 50. When you get below the 50 like this, it's just a matter of time before you have your next move up. So I would think today, tomorrow, sometime by the end of this week, you're going to have that next move up that takes you there. You might not be at the 1272 by the end of the week, which is at about 4.15 to 4.2 cents, right? Somewhere in that range. You might be, but you might not by the end of the week. You might be sometime next week. But I think you're ceasing moving lower. You're going to start moving up from here. Like today is what I'm thinking. So that's VeChain. After you move down, let's see. Let me just see real quick, because I feel like that one was kind of easy. And if you look at this too on the weekly RSI, you're at like the third highest you've ever been in this thing's history. Let alone if you continue to grow, you'll get up in this area, this 90 zone that you rejected before. It's not crazy to assume. And being around that green line, look at that, man. Top to bottom, your 382 is right in the same area of rejection. Like, that's so classic, man. So very classic. I would expect that you could even wick a little bit above it, but somewhere in this range of the 382, you probably pull back to that 886, which is all the way down, or that, I'm sorry, 236, which is all the way down at 2.7 cents. Again, kind of lining up with, where is it? No, that's not. Oh, that's kind of cool. Lines up with this 382 pretty well at 2.5 cents there. But it was this one that I was looking at, which also lines up with the 786. But it is very common to bounce off the 886, so you might hold that 3 cent level, that 2.9 cent level. You might hold that, but don't be surprised if it goes to 2.5 cents. I'd say up a little bit, around 4.16 to 4.3 cents, let's just say somewhere in that range. And then you probably have a dramatic move, a pretty quick move down to, it'll probably take multiple weeks, but relatively quick move down to about 2.6 cents to, let's say, yeah, 2.6 cents to 2.9 cents, somewhere in that range. Yeah, that's VeChain. And then from there, then we can talk about you going higher, and you probably will go higher. I mean, you'll probably make strides up to like 8 to 10 cents after that. That's probably where your next heading is. But that's a little bit of a ways away as far as time goes. So moving on from there, we're going to be talking about BNB for Fonzie here, Mr. Matt himself. Looking at this, overbought, showing strength, looking nice. In this phase of accumulation, if you took away that green line, yes, it looks like you're prodding it right now, but overall you're kind of in this accumulation phase, right? So it wouldn't be crazy if you found resistance here. It wouldn't be crazy. Even if you're about to break out, you might consolidate or something like that and then break out. You might move down, form a higher low, and then continue to do that until you're ready to break out. It could be some time, but you are looking nice right now, BNB. I know, there's a lot of talk about, when I hear people talk about BNB, what's different is like in the previous years, in the previous cycles, everybody's been like BNB's a no-brainer, like it's a no-brainer. But now I hear a lot of people questioning it, and they're kind of like downplaying it a lot. And sure, BNB isn't the most fancy coin out there, but it's the exchange token on the biggest crypto exchange in the world, right? I mean, that's got value, man. I don't care what's going on with CZ in jail, and if he's going to jail and the SEC's got him. It doesn't matter. BNB, it's like Binance is still the biggest crypto exchange in the world, right? Like so I don't know. I think BNB has a place. It might become irrelevant at some point, but even if crypto gets mainstream and there's bigger exchanges out there, bigger than Binance, because there are bigger stock exchanges, and they have exposure to crypto, Binance might take a back seat, but it's still going to be after it's no longer the top exchange for volume for crypto in the world, it'll still be one of the tops. So having an exchange coin like BNB, I think it has a place. And they do burns all the time, man. And people right now are short. Like I swear, the last like month, I've heard a lot of people just short playing this a lot. And look at how it's performing. Hands up if you've heard like big YouTube accounts talk shit about BNB recently, like it's nothing special. And here it is, doing special stuff. Anyways, man, I think it's special. I don't think it's that special, but I don't think that it's as irrelevant as some of these bigger accounts are making it out to be. Anyways, you're at an area of resistance. You probably find resistance here. You probably do. You are overbought. You're showing some of the strongest readings that you've seen in a very long time. But, you know, realistically, compared to your last high here, you have a higher high in the RSI while maintaining a lower high in the price. That is hidden bearish divergence. That's not encouraging for growth. You could go higher. I just don't know if you're ready to break out yet. Looking at the daily, looking strong, man, on this RSI. You really are looking strong. That's not a friendly candle, though, here at the top. That really is not. You continued moving up with less volume. That's not encouraging either. Top to bottom to top here, I might expect that you move down to about $278, maybe all the way back down to $246, $237, somewhere in that range. I don't think you form a lower low. I think you'd form a higher low, if anything. But you could go all the way to 237 and still form a higher low. But I would first look at this 278 level. You'd probably go a little bit below that. It's very common to go a little bit below the 382, so don't be surprised. You know, you maybe go to your 0.5. You do have areas of support there, previous areas of resistance there. You could go to 261. It's not common to find support on the 0.5, but I'll give it on this one. I think that you might. And the reason for that, too, is you kind of have like the bottom of the range to the top of the range. That 0.5 might be significant just based off of that alone. But let's see. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that like 280 to 260 area. So I bet you do go lower. If you go higher, it won't be by much, and then you probably go lower. And I think that over time, you're getting ready to break out of this range. Maybe after the halving, maybe before the halving, but for now, if you go up, it's going to be a little bit, and if you go down, it's probably going to be a lot more than the upside. I think you're getting ready to go down now, though. Watch me be wrong. Watch you go up another like 20 or 30 bucks or something like that, but then turn down. But I think soon enough, if not now, you are getting ready for some downside with BNB. Again, probably around 260 to 280. That's my general interpretation. PSP Paraswap. This one's for Mr. Daniel Mullen. How do we want to do this? Well, let's look at this first, I suppose. Nice kind of bottoming structure. Is there more historical data? Yes, there is. Very nice bottoming structure, honestly. I like this a lot. Anyone who's watching the channel for a while now, you know that these bottoming structures tend to be very friendly, very, very friendly, though you do have lower highs in your price while having higher highs in your RSI. That's not necessarily a good thing. For like immediate continuation, you're probably not ready just yet to break out of this thing. That's all that means. That doesn't mean it's not a good thing, as in like you're gonna go down. It's all over here. This nice formation is negated. No, it just means that you're probably not ready to break out of it yet. You do have higher highs here, after all, with higher highs, so that there is relative convergence, not divergence. But I digress. Let's see. Nope. Top to bottom, you're at your 618, 69 area, tipped your 786. A lot of cryptos are doing that right now. You could go, man, you really could. Oh, I like this structure on the fib. I really do. I don't think you go, normally I would think you'd go back to the 382, but you already found support there. I bet you find support on that 0.5. Again, not a significant thing most of the time, but you kind of are. The reason why I think it is significant, same thing as last time, you're going from the top to the bottom of the range, like of the whole range itself, like this whole accumulation phase. Normally whenever you have like a range like that, which this isn't a good, this chart doesn't really have anything else to compare it to, you're going to find more significance on that halfway point. Let me just point it out here. Let's see real quick. Go to Bitcoin. I don't have any one in mind. I'm just going to go for it. So let's see. Like here, right? This was your topping range. So let's take the top or the bottom to the top. It doesn't matter because the 0.5, whether you go from bottom to top or top to bottom, you're going to get the same. Come on now. Look at that. Ha! I wasn't even, I really had no idea, guys. I haven't done BTC. I mean, I haven't drawn this in a while, but look at that. We are finding resistance right now in the 0.5. And again, this is different. This 0.5 is different because it's the overall like topping range here, right? It's not the same as like finding significance on the 0.5 of this overall move right here, because this is like your whole move up. I wouldn't expect, maybe you find significance there, but it's different. It's different rules for a movement than it is a range, if that makes sense. Like a halfway point of any range that you get, small term time frames, large term time frames, oftentimes enough they have significance. Keep that in your back pocket. That's something that you can use going up, going down. If you identify a previous range, which again, it's obvious, right? Like this here is a range, right? You wouldn't call this a range, right? That's not a range. That's a move, right? You wouldn't call this a range. I mean, obviously there's a range from low to high, but that's not a range. If anything, if you wanted the range, get rid of my favorites here, the range would have been like down here. Maybe there's another range right here, something like that, you know. But I'm digressing again. But just to kind of illuminate the idea and provide a little bit of insight for anybody who's looking to trade themselves, the reason why you might look for significance on the 0.5 for the fib, you don't even need the 0.5, man. Just take a box, right? Take your box, go from low to high, low here, high there, and then put a line of best fit in the middle. You probably find significance on it at some point, right? And you did. You actually found a little bit of, if I'm just eyeballing it here, put that like right in the middle. Maybe it's a little high. Maybe it's, I feel like that's pretty perfect in the middle. Look, you found resistance right there. You found support right there even, right? So, and that was from low to high. That's maintained some significance throughout this whole structure. But anyways, I digress. I really do. I'm going off on a whole tangent here. You probably go down, BNB. You probably go down. Oh, wait, we're not doing BNB. We're doing PSP. I already did BNB. Let's see here. I do think it goes down. Again, this 0.5 area I think will provide some significance. Why? I just explained it, right? I went on a whole tangent, forgot where I was because of it. Probably down to about 3.3 cents. And again, just to further repeat myself, the 0.5 is not normally a significant level, but when you have ranges, it can be significant, okay? Yeah, probably down to 3.3 cents and then up. I think this looks really good. I like this bottoming pattern a lot. It's definitely a bottoming pattern. Bottoming pattern as in you're not going to go lower. I'm not worried about it seeing lower prices. I don't know anything about Paraswap, and I'm very confident in saying that it probably goes up higher. I do want to draw this fib back on here. You're probably, after this 0.5 move, you'll probably see a move that takes you up to 8 to 13 cents in a relatively short amount of time. That could happen before the halving. That really could. Maybe it happens after the halving, but all I know is, or all I believe to know, is that you probably are moving down right now. How long does it take? Probably not that long, but it probably doesn't happen in a day. I bet it happens within the next month or so. But that's Paraswap. Let's move on to XYO. Oh my goodness, it's another friendly bottom, isn't it? It's a very friendly bottom. Yes, it is. Oof, man. I'm already on KuCoin. Let's do Coinbase. Yeah, it's got the most volume for what we have available. So what's nice about this bottom, for those of you who don't know, or maybe you do know, you've been watching the channel enough, or you've done your own diligence into learning technical analytics, that you can identify this. What is this here? What's that called? That is a Adam and Eve, classic bottoming pattern. Beautiful, very powerful, very, very powerful. And it's normally a double bottom, and it's very common even to see the second low come in a little bit lower than the first low, but very much so like kind of a double bottom look. And the atom is the V, the Eve is the U. The breakout point is right at the nipple there, right? Which technically would be all the way up here. Technically would be. And I mean, there's even a measure move for it. You would technically take the lowest point, which would in this case be with the Eve. You put it at the top, and then the breakout is right there at the top. Your measure move would take you up all the way to 3.7 cents, yet again in that 3 cent zone, man. Here we are at 0.006. I believe that'd be like a 50x. Something around there. From here. I said 50x, I meant 5x. I meant 5x. I like to think I'm better at math than I am sometimes. No, I'm pretty good at math, but I carried one extra zero over. I didn't, or one extra one over, whatever. I didn't mean to. A decimal over. Losing my words here. I'm nervous, man. I'm so nervous. No, okay, so high, lower high, high, higher high on your weekly. Bearish divergence. Looks like you're probably you're at an area that you found resistance before. You put a line right here on the closing basis. You can see resistance, resistance, resistance. It makes sense. You probably form a higher low. Your first higher low since this whole onslaught to the downside. Good job. This is big shit. Big stuff. This is very big stuff right now. Nobody wants to hear that their asset's going down, but trust me when I tell you that going down from here is not a bad thing, because you're going to be forming a higher low. You really could hold this 382 level as you've been doing. I kind of would anticipate that you go to this 61869 though. I kind of would personally. But again, you kind of this 0.5 from low to high. This is like the low to high of the range. You could find significance on the 0.5, man. That's like every single one of them. It's kind of crazy. But you are still in this accumulation range right here. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, it probably goes down. Yeah, that severe divergence. No volume coming in. Double top-esque for sure. Looks like it wants to go down. 4 hours showing weakness. Yeah. Yep. Daily rejection off that overbought zone is not friendly. Right, like here you rejected it, but look at the difference between this and this. It's different. Not to mention the divergence, not to mention the lack in volume as you're trying to break out. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? You're probably going to go one of three places. One, you're going to go to half a cent. 2, you're going to go to 0.0044, or 3, maybe you go all the way down to 0.004, something like that. And then from there, you're probably getting ready to move up to about 3.7 cents. Genuinely speaking, like in a short amount. When you break out, it's breakout moves are not slow moves, right? And it can take weeks or months, like it can, but it's not going to be like a move like this where you move down, and then once you come up here, you break out. It's gonna be maybe it moves that fast, maybe it doesn't move that fast, but it's not gonna be like meandering slowly up to those levels. You know, it's not gonna be like that. At least I wouldn't expect it to. I would expect it to be either fairly fast up to those levels, like literally even to like somewhere around here, or maybe it's like it does a stair stepping, you know, something like that, which is still pretty fast, but just not as fast. But anyways, down first, probably anywhere from about 0.004 to, what was it, 0.005? Yeah, somewhere in that range. That's XYO. Moving on to XCN. This one's for Mr. Garcia's Trading. XCN USD. This is Onyx Coin. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I remember hearing about this thing, man. I thought it was older than this, though. Maybe it's not. It doesn't look like it is. I want to get the confirmation on that because I thought it was older, but let's see. Sometimes time just moves in a weird way. XCN. Come on now. Do I have to refresh it, really? CoinGecko doesn't do well with being left on for a while. You got to refresh it. That's okay, though. That's Very useful app, this CoinGecko. Still got the Christmas CoinGecko. I love it, man. I still got the Christmas tree. Who's going to last longer, the Christmas gecko or my Christmas tree? We're going to find out. I will take the over on my tree, personally, but I have insider information. Anyways, very low market cap, huh? That's nice. That's actually really nice, even after this tremendous growth. 2022. No, that's as old as it is. Okay, so down. Only down, nothing but down, and then sideways a little bit, kind of, but still down. And now, immense bullish upbringing. Low to high, 375% move over a few months or a couple months' time. That's not bad. Rejected the overbought zone. That's okay. All-time high to all-time low. Not really anywhere to like note. Maybe here, maybe this top to bottom, because it's more relative. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Tipped your 1886. Just tipped it. You're back below your 1272. You probably go back to your 886. 0014 is the price. You could go all the way back to 0011, all the way down to your 618. You could. You really could. But I would at least expect this 886 to come into play somewhere around there, 0014. That's my expectation as to where you're moving. And then from there up, maybe. This is a pretty parabolic move, so don't be surprised if, I mean, it's not even parabolic, it's like straight up at one point. But so don't be surprised if you see a deeper retracement. But I would say between 0011 and 0014, that's probably where you're headed right now. Let's look at the daily RSI. Starting to slip, getting some of the weaker readings that you've had in a while since you've shown your bullishness. I'm sure there's people that are like, this is a bull flag, it's going to break upwards. And maybe it does. Maybe it continues. I would argue that this is a descending triangle. You've got descending highs and a flat base here. You could move up a little bit more and then continue to hold this, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottoms. There's no such thing as a quintuple bottom. You're below your green line. The green line here on the 4 hours starting to slope down. You probably move down. You probably do move down. And where are you moving down to? 0011, 0014, somewhere in that range. That's my expectation. So a little bit of downside and then up. And yeah, man, as the days go on too, this line is going to just move up at like this trajectory, right? Look at that. If you were to move down, right, something like this, let's keep it kind of going. I don't know, something like, you're basically going to meet like right here in this area, which the bottom of that circle is at 0012, top of that circle is at 0013, that's right between 0011, 0014. You could find support on this green line as you did here when you broke above it, hugged it. I bet you do. Very common when you get that far away after hugging it like this and you just tear away from this thing. Very common to pull back to it, right? And then tip it, literally tip it probably if it goes below there. If price gets below this green line at all, it's going to be a prime buying opportunity. But I would even expect that it tips it with how well it respected this here. You'd be lucky to buy it under the green line. But I think if, just like here, buying below this green line would have been the prime of the prime to buy after this little breakout here, I think it'll do that again if it gets down there. It probably will. But that's XCN down for now. Down for now. All that long discussion to say it's probably going down. Very low market cap though, man. I'm kind of curious because I've heard a lot about this thing, and it's just, I'm surprised because it's done nothing but go down. But to be fair, to be completely fair, before moving on to FLR, when did it come out? 2022? Yeah? Like in the middle of the bear market? Not a good time to come out, man. You know, really not a good time to come out. So, a lot of volume here. Sometimes the best things are the ones that tank the hardest. How much would you go if you went all the way back to your all-time highs? Yeah, you can do that. You absolutely can do that. That's a 61x, almost a 62x. You can do that, especially with a 40. What was it? 47 million. Let's do the math real quick. Let's say this thing was to gain $1 billion. Okay, so 47 million times 10 is 470 million. Times 100 would be 4.7 billion, right? So divide that by 4.2 or something like that. You'd have like a 23, 24x, something like that. So $1 billion market cap would be down around here somewhere. I'm doing just rough math, guys, really quick, but somewhere around like 4 to 5 cents in that range. Let alone if you were to see a 100x, which again would be at like $4.7 billion, right? I might be wrong on my quick math that I just did there, but that's okay. 100x would be $4.7 billion, and that would take you all the way up to about 17 cents, 17.4 cents for 100x. Yeah, you could go higher. 4.7 billion. I mean, that's a large amount, but that's not an unachievable amount, especially in the midst of a bull market. This thing is multi-100xable from its current market cap, and it's only going to go lower from here, right? Like if it goes, let's say it goes to the minimum or the maximum that I'm expecting, which is 0.14, right? Something like that, 0.014. I mean, yeah, man. Multi-100xable for sure. A 1000x would be 47 billion. It might be 1000xable, you guys. I'm not saying that it does that, especially with a circulating supply like this and an undiluted supply like that, but man, yep, a lot of it's locked up in the Dow, right? So for people who are participating in the ecosystem, treasury, I don't know, whatever the treasury's for. I don't know enough about this thing, but it's multi-100xable for sure. Definitely a good looking one. Might have to scoop some up, man. Honestly, I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah. Very, very nice to see. Generally, charts like this I stay away from, but it came out in the midst of the bear market. It's getting a lot of volume, having a positive reaction here. I don't know. Got a good feeling about it. But anyways, let's wrap this video up, man. It's been going on for way too long. I'm getting hung up on things. FLR USD Flowride, no, it's Flare on Coinbase, Kraken, April, and on Kraken that is January. So Kraken has more. Kraken it is, baby. All right, I love Kraken. I actually don't love Kraken anymore, but I used to love Kraken. They were one of like the last American exchanges that allowed leverage trading to just everyday traders. But let's see. In America, for Americans. Above your 382, holding support there. I like it. Decent RSI on the weekly. Nothing to be ashamed of. I like it, man. I think it wants to go higher. I do. I really do. I think it does. Yeah. Acting weird. This is definitely weird price action for sure. But you are holding above this green line still. Very, very neutral, but that's because your price is so neutral. I think you want to go higher, which is interesting because most things look like they want to go down. I like this daily RSI. The weekly, it's such a new chart, it doesn't really have enough to go off of. I would think you're getting ready to make a move up to about 2.5 to 2.83 cents. The only thing that's holding me back from being like super confident that this happens is I kind of expect crypto to dump soon, which might take you back to your 1.22 cents around this green line. That could happen, right, over the coming weeks, and then you move up. But with just how well you've held this 382, I just based off of like what you do with fibs, I would assume you go up to here. You're holding support at a previous area of resistance on the price as well. All the things that would kind of suggest that you go up higher. You're at 1.7 cents now. The target would be 2.5 cents essentially to 2.82 cents in that range. And then we can talk about it. So that's all it is, man. That's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. If there was a winner, as odd as it is, it would be FLR. FLR, whatever it is, whatever this coin is. So Garcia's trading. This is your first time doing a request, man, and you already won one of these altcoin showdowns. Good job, man. Just because I say it's the winner doesn't mean it has to go up, but to me, out of all the other charts, literally out of all of them, it's the only one that looks like it wants to go up in the immediate term. BNB kind of, but all of them look like they have some impending downside to go before they move up. I'm really excited about XCN. That one has my attention really like the most out of all of them. But there's some winners in this, man. There's a lot. Like literally, I think all of these things are going to do well, man. Like they all look like they have some serious potential, but I don't know if I want to go any further than that. So I'll just leave it at that. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Yeah, winner is FLR, I would say. And if it goes down from here, I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I can be wrong again. Most crypto does look like it's getting ready for a little bit of a pullback. But yeah, that's all I got for you. So if you like the video, thumbs ups, man. They're much appreciated. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.